Oilers Nation After Dark begins now.
That's the thing about sports, folks. Sometimes it can make you feel so good, so on top of the world, riding what could have been the greatest comeback of all time, but that same feeling can be snatched from you in an instant. Tonight, it did not go the way we wanted here in Edmonton for the Oilers. Just another chapter in the long, long storybook that is the Edmonton Oilers. Ring number 6, I think, will have to wait as the Edmonton Oilers lose 2-1 in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals to the Florida Panthers. Hello and welcome to Oilers Nation After Dark after probably the toughest loss of the season, maybe the toughest loss of my life. You know the drill. Subscribe to the ON YouTube. Throw down your like. Get in the chat. But, boys, I want to start off positively, and I want to say, regardless of the outcome tonight, this year was the greatest year of my entire life. The greatest roller coaster that I've ever been on. I loved every bit of it. Pre-gaming with Bordsy, Oilers Nation After Dark, hosting these Greta parties, being along for the ride, and getting to meet every single nation citizen out there. You guys have created a family here for this company. I know it hurts. That's why we'll be in the chat together as a family. It's been an unreal season, an unreal year at an unreal profession, if you will, that I have. And I promise you, we will be back. We will be back in these very same seats. I'm joined by Cam Lewis and Zach Lang and Coombsy. You and I have been sitting here. The mood is down. Sure, we are upset, but that's one thing you've been pushing right now to me. We will be back.
We will be back, and that's what I want to focus on is the fact that the Edmonton Oilers put together an incredible story this year, and the Florida Panthers played an amazing game. They did what they did, and they were the Stanley Cup champions. But the thing that matters to me the most is I want to give a high five to everyone from Oilers Nation who's done a fan-fucking-tastic job this year. Aaron, an amazing job. Zach, he wrote the post-game article for the website during the game today at Greta. He would go in the intermissions and write what happened and posted it online, and it was a recap of what happened during the game. Everyone in Oilers Nation, Kennedy with the hype videos, everybody, Pat behind the scenes, Waz, Brett, Tyler, everyone did a fantastic fucking job this year. It's been a legendary year, and we will be back. This is just the beginning. The Edmonton Oilers lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals in 2014, but this is just the beginning. It's not the end.
Zach, it's obviously, we're sad, we're upset, that didn't go the way we wanted, but I think you agree with the sentiment from Coombsy right there. This has been, as I said, the greatest roller coaster I've ever been on. I know it can be loser talk. I'm sure there's Panthers trolls in the chat right now. It's been the greatest ride ever. 2-9-1, 5-12-1, fired your coach, 31st in the NHL, all the way to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and you lose by 1 goal. Zach, there's a lot to hang your hat on tonight.
Goddamn right, there is.
Goddamn right.
It was one hell of a ride this season. You know, if you would have told me when the Edmonton Oilers made the coaching change in November that we'd be sitting here where we are right now in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, watching the Edmonton Oilers get a chance to play and hoist Lord Stanley's mug, I would not have believed you. I don't think anybody would have believed you. It's been an absolutely incredible ride this season. And, you know, if you're out there and you're feeling sad and you're feeling down, the sun will come up tomorrow. Free agency's right around the corner. Training camp, it's going to come around so goddamn fast this year because of how deep the Edmonton Oilers were able to go. And that is something special. That is something for this team and this fan base to hang their hats on.
It's something to be incredibly proud of. Take pride in it, every bit of it. Enjoy every bit of it. Enjoy tonight. Greta is still a-rolling, and it's still a-bumping. We'll start there tonight, gentlemen. We've been at Greta for every single game of the Stanley Cup Finals. Tonight, another example of why nation citizens are unlike anything else in the sports world. Man, this bar was at maximum capacity before the puck was even dropped. Standing room only, guys in orange and blue tuxedos, all kinds of fans all over the place. We got that crowd hype. We threw out every piece of merch we had. We left everything we had out on the table as fans. And one thing as well, Coombsy, that I want to say, I think the players did too. But what can you say about the nation citizens throughout this entire playoff run? And of course, tonight, the pinnacle of it all, win, lose, or draw, this crowd in here is fucking insane tonight.
There is no one who deserved this championship more than fans of the Edmonton Oilers who have been to hell and back. It's been a real fucking long grind, Chang, for this team. It's been a lot of rebuilds, a lot of high draft picks, a lot of awful seasons, a lot of cold and dark, miserable nights in the winter time. But what we came out of that with is this era of a team, and this team can go deep into the playoffs. And eventually, this is ultimately part of the story. The Oilers came back from 3-0 down to force a Game 7 in the Stanley Cup final, and this is part of it. Eventually, they'll take this and they will win. They have the core. They have the group. This is very different than from 2006 when it was a Cinderella run to the Stanley Cup final. This is Connor McDavid.
Yeah, exactly. This is different.
This is completely different now. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl will carry a team to the Stanley Cup final. They know how to win. This was a learning experience. This isn't the end. This is just the end for right now.
It is. It's the end for right now, but it was an incredible year, an incredible ending. Zachary, you've been with me. You pre-gamed with me all year, all season long. The Greta crowd tonight, dude, it was till the final whistle, till the final buzzer. I didn't hear no fucking bell. Absolutely. Everybody in this bar gave it their all, and it's something to be proud of. It's how this city has shown up. It's shown out every single game. It's a Monday night tonight. It did not feel like it at all coming into this bar. And still, right now, people got to work tomorrow morning. They are still sitting here, still battling, still having a wind down beer. And there's a lot to be proud of.
There is, Bordsy. I mean, like I said before, it's just an unbelievable season. You know, and I think Coombsy summed it up very well, too. You know, this is an Oilers team that is primed to get back to this place, to get back to this location, right? You know, you take a look at the learning lessons along the way for the Edmonton Oilers. You know, 2 years ago, they got swept by the Colorado Avalanche in the Western Conference Final. Last year, yeah, it was a tough loss to Vegas in the second round. But those experiences and the experiences before are very clearly things that the Edmonton Oilers have learned from. And I think that these are things that the Edmonton Oilers are going to be able to carry forward, moving forward into next season, that are going to help prepare them for another deep playoff run next year. So we can all be sitting here at Greta again, and instead of feeling sad about the Edmonton Oilers losing in the Cup Finals, we can enjoy the fact that they'll have won a Stanley Cup. Because this is an Edmonton Oilers team that is unlike any other in the NHL right now. Credit where it's due. You tip your cap to the Panthers. They had a hell of a game tonight in Game 7, and they were able to get the job done. But the job's not finished for these Edmonton Oilers.
The job's not finished, baby. La Bomba mentality. It still lives on. And it's a good point you made. You got to learn to lose before you can win, and I understand they're one game away. It could have been a simple one, I guess, loser talking out. Last 3 seasons, we've lost to the Stanley Cup winner. Sure. So you're one step away,
Cheers
always throughout it. You just mentioned it, Florida, an incredible – actually – let's say absolutely. Austin says here, sadistic angel, not even upset. I'm just so proud. Yeah. Austin says, let's raise a cold fucking beer, oil country. Gentlemen, we've got our coffee cups.
It's been such a good fucking ride. We've had such a good time. We've had such a good time. Remember this time. It's been so good.
That was the best cup of Joe I've ever had all game long. And Zach, you mentioned Florida. They're a great hockey team. They were in this very, maybe not spot, but Stanley Cup Finals a year ago. They seemed poised and primed to do it. They had their way with the Eastern Conference, went through it, had a 3-0 lead in this series, and they were staring down the barrel of the worst collapse in sports history. I mentioned Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons level of collapse. They were able to dig deep, but that Florida Panthers team, it's no fluke that they've won this cup. They're an excellent squad, well-coached squad. Congratulations to Paul Maurice. I don't have a bad thing to say about Paul Maurice. Might have a couple bad things to say about his team. Diving all over the fucking ice tonight, but that's just my emotion in general. Florida, though, Zach, it's tough to be upset when they outplayed the Edmonton Oilers tonight. It was a do-or-die, winner-take-all Game 7. They were the better team.
They were the better team tonight, and that's what it is in these situations. It's Game 7. It's do or die. It doesn't matter what happened in the 6 previous games. All that matters is what happened tonight. And you know, it's not like the Oilers had a lack of chances. You know, they had opportunity all game long to be able to bury a goal, 2 goals, 3 goals, and get back in the game. You know, I think for the Edmonton Oilers, too, the fact that they fought back the way that they did in this game fought back so hard. Had a great third period where they were very clearly putting the pressure on Florida. They just couldn't beat Bobrovsky, who, returned to form from what we saw early on in those first couple of games. You talk about the Edmonton Oilers right now, and Bordsy, I can tell you that these Oilers are much like the Panthers from last season. I've been told that there's a lot of injuries going on for these Edmonton Oilers right now. Connor McDavid, he's been dealing with an injury since Vancouver. Same with Leon Draisaitl. I heard that it's a broken rib for Draisaitl.
I've heard that too.
And
can we say that now? Now we can say that, right?
We can say that now. Draisaitl's been playing through a broken rib.
Playing through hell.
And hand, finger, whatever you want.
And that's not to say that these are excuses in any sense of the term. But, you look at what happened last year with the Florida Panthers and the way they were able to rebound this year. I think the Oilers will be in a prime position to do so next year.
Absolutely. I see Joe in here. He said, I was waiting for the ref excuse. You're not getting that from me. You're not getting that from anyone in Oilers Nation. We were outclassed, outplayed in this game, and the better team won. Austin also asked Bordsy, will you be doing this again next season? I don't actually know, but I think I've done a pretty good job throughout this year.
They'll sign you to another contract. I can't imagine.
I hope I get a 1 year.
Anybody else do this fucking job?
I'll do a 1 year, 2 year deal, league minimum, absolutely, to be a part of this ride. Pat, what was the number? 107 games this season.
That's right.
So that means 214 pre and post game shows. Been a hell of a ride. Wouldn't change a single thing about it. But I want to start. Let's start from the top, gentlemen, because it wasn't the greatest start that you would have ever wanted in the game, because Warren Foegele takes a 2-minute minor for cross-checking a man in the face. Not the greatest play to ever do that far away from your own net. And the Edmonton Oilers penalty kill. They come in, they kill it off. Of course they do, because they've been elite so throughout these playoffs. But seconds later, Carter Verhaeghe was able to get a sick tip. Let's just call a spade a spade. That was an absolutely beautiful play, but it felt like right from the jump, oh shit, we're kind of chasing this game, Coombsy.
It did. It felt like Florida jumped in front, which has not been the case in Edmonton's 3 wins. You'll remember the shorthanded goals from Matthias Yanmar and Connor Brown. The Oilers jumped in front in both of those games. Leon Draisaitl passed to Warren Foegele. That's what they did. The Oilers set the tempo immediately right off the hop. And what Florida did in this game is they came out hard. They said, we have the home team. This is us. We are the favorites to win this series. Despite Edmonton's 3 wins in a row, this is still our series. We're the home team, and we host Game 7. They came back, and they took the energy from their crowd. And to be fair, their crowd provided them with a good energy, and Florida scored the first goal. Carter Verhaeghe was alone in front of the net. Nobody from Edmonton, no one's defense noticed him there. Nobody knocked him down in front of the net, and Carter Verhaeghe was able to tip the shot past Stuart Skinner. And if you're Skinner, there's not much you can do right there.
Dude, that was a nasty tip.
Nobody from Edmonton's blue line was in the mix in that situation.
Zach, thoughts on the start? You know that Florida's got the home ice advantage. It's Game 7. Do they have the most capacity in building in the NHL? It's like 20,000 people. I'm pretty sure it is. Don't quote me. Maybe a Panthers fan looking for gloating. Let me know. It's nice. They're even saying to us right now, thanks for being good sports. Shake my hand, Panthers fan.
That's what we're trying to do. We're not losers. We're not fucking losers.
It's been a hell of a season, but I want to ask you about the starts, because that's what you get. It doesn't matter. You just mentioned it. The previous 6 games. All of that can be thrown out the fucking window. It's one game, do or die. They had the crowd behind them. Tough penalty for Warren Foegele to start. And I get it wasn't a power play goal for the Panthers, but it basically was.
Yeah, and they were able to build some momentum off of that. You saw the Edmonton Oilers be able to do the same in the second period. You look at Matthew Tkachuk's penalty that he took and the way the Oilers were able to take control of the majority of that second frame, right? I thought it was pretty quiet early on in the first couple of minutes of the game. You could clearly tell there was a bit of that feeling out process that was going on for both teams. And, at the end of the day, hey, you know what? It's a hell of a play, right? Evan Rodriguez gets the pass on the half wall, comes up to the point. He's just fucking throwing a puck on the net, right? He's just throwing a puck on the net, and it ends up getting deflected in. It was one hell of a play. It's the way she goes sometimes.
One thing, and it was my key to victory all series long. You heard me say it ad nauseum on pregame with Bordsy and After Dark, dealing with Florida's aggressive forecheck. And I had mentioned on pregaming, the last 3 games, the Oilers had a quick strike defense to it, I guess, and it was quickly moving the puck up the ice, having a forward move up the ice and kind of leave the zone, forcing a Florida defenseman to kind of come back with him. Tonight, gentlemen, Felt like I was beating my head up against the wall countless plays after plays, especially in the first period. It did get better as the game went along, so I want to make that clear. But once again, Coombsy, that first period felt like just constantly trying to get the puck out of your own zone. So close, not getting it out. Florida creates another cycle, has a number of chances, and I understand the Oilers came out of the first period 1-1. Dare I say, we were all ecstatic to be out of that period tied 1-1.
We were happy the Oilers were tied 1-1 after the first because the Florida Panthers managed to
They took it
alter
to
their game in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. What the Oilers did in the 3 wins in this series that they won in a row is they were able to mitigate Florida's forecheck. And what the Panthers did is they brought a completely different energy to this one, and the Oilers didn't have an answer for it immediately, and the Panthers went ahead and they scored first, and that was the entire moxie of the whole game. The whole first half of the game is the Oilers at never any point did they have the puck for more than a second.
Yeah,
there was a Florida guy on them no matter what. Whether it was a stick, it was a check, it was somebody getting in the way, or it was somebody hammering them into the boards. Florida brought their best physical game, and that's what they've done all season. They lost that in those past few games. The Oilers brought it to them. But Florida, they said, no, we're coming back into our own building. We are the favorite team in this series. We're going to play the physical game, and we're going to make you play what we want to play. And the Oilers never felt like they truly had possession of the puck in this game. It always felt like they were pushing uphill.
Zach, would you agree? It felt like chasing. It felt just outclassed, outwilled, out whatever words you want to say, especially in that first period. They couldn't complete a pass 3 in a row their life depended on.
Yeah, it's true, man. I mean, you know what? It was a tough game. Like, it was a tough game. And, you know, Florida being able to get that early lead, Yanmar's able to respond pretty quickly with a beautiful goal. A beautiful goal. And that was a really big moment, I thought, too, in this game, right? Because it took it from being a 1-0 game to a 1-1 game. And it wiped the slate clean 7 minutes into it, right? You know, it's kind of tough when you give up that first goal. It's never an easy situation to be in. And credit where it's due again to the Panthers because, man, they shut it down defensively in that game. They really did a great job. You know, even looking at the underlying numbers tonight, the Edmonton Oilers, 57% of the high danger chances tonight.
How much?
57% of the high danger chances.
It's loud in here.
8-6. Expected goal share, 62% control for the Edmonton Oilers. I thought the Oilers played a really good game. I think they played about as good of a game as you could want them to play in this kind of a situation. They just couldn't find that goal. They just couldn't find that extra goal.
There was a number of chances tonight, and one thing so the first period comes along, and I'd say I felt like the Oilers were outworked, dominated, whatever you want to say. A good Florida cycle game, aggressive on the forecheck. The more we got to that second period, it was a much, much better effort. Kind of felt like they had flipped the script, and they were able to control some cycles. The Draisaitl line had some good things. Obviously, the Oilers' third line. Hashtag bring Rico back. Bring all of them back. Bring all fucking 3 of them back. I want them all in my lineup. But there were several long shifts in the second period where the Panthers seemed hemmed in. You were getting the chances. And as it kind of continued to the third, it felt like we were definitely the aggressor in the third period. But Florida seemed committed to letting them shoot from the outside, taking shots from there. A number were blocked. But a number, Coombsy, did go through. There were rebounds. There were scrambles in front of the net. That third period, I almost passed out 4 different times right there in front of the TV, just going, get the puck. Come on. And it just didn't happen tonight. But it wasn't for a lack of chances.
No, it wasn't. The Oilers had plenty of chances to score. They had the power play opportunity in which they controlled the puck for almost the entirety of the power play opportunity. They had many chances to score. There were chances in which the puck was just sitting there in the crease and somebody was just that far away from touching it. It went off of Aaron Ekblad's skate or his shin pad or something behind the net. The Oilers were right there. They had plenty of chances to score. But hats off to Sergei Bobrovsky, honestly, in this one. Sergei Bobrovsky has been the story in this series where he was almost the goaltender who let this thing go. He, allowed as many goals as he did in games 4, 5, and 6. And he came back into Florida and he missed the practice right before the game. And everyone's wondering, where's Sergei Bobrovsky? Are they going to get a fake goaltending performance or not? and he only allows one goal in this one. Bobrovsky came up huge, and this is a 2-time Vezina Trophy winner. He signed a $70 million contract with the Florida Panthers in the Dale Talon era, and he comes around for them and comes up huge in the biggest game in Florida Panthers franchise history. That's what they needed, and that's what he did.
I barely heard the first bit of that because we just had our first person try and crash the set.
It happens. That's
and
life.
It happens. That's the beauty of Greta. You knocked the light over. But shout out Pat's dad because he caught the lights, and that's what you get. We're good, baby. That's what you get at Greta, Dan. That's what you get at Greta. Everybody wants to hug it out.
It's
get
always
it.
Fun.
I will create a line if everyone wants to have some hugs after the game. In the wise words of Ari Gold from Entourage, hug it out, bitch. But the end of what you were saying there, I believe, was about Sergei Bobrovsky, and he was kind of the scapegoat in this series, man, for 3 straight games, arguably 4 straight games, maybe the third period of game 3. He was slowly getting picked apart. We know he was unreal to start the series, had around a 950, kind of hit rock bottom, came back to center earth. But Zachary, tonight, he was able to stand tall, do what he needs to do. He makes 23 saves on 24 shots, a 958 in game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. He's got 2 Vezinas, like you mentioned. This cements Bobrovsky's legacy. He is on the case, I think, for the rest of his career. Is Sergei Bobrovsky now a lock for the Hall of Fame?
Oh man, a lock for the Hall of Fame.
I'm curious.
I think he's in contention.
That lock's a tough word. That's a tough word.
He makes a really good case. And I think especially after this, getting to win a Stanley Cup for him, I think is something that's absolutely going to boost his odds there and being able to do so. You know, Bobrovsky, like, what can you say? It was a hell of a game, right? Games 1-3, yeah, you know, it was a bit of a disappointing situation for the Edmonton Oilers to be in, watching sorry, don't mind me.
Oh, damn it, they saw it. Damn it.
Oh, oops.
We're living life. We are.
Hey,
we're mortals.
This is how you deal with losses in Game 7, and you get your heartbroken boys. You just pour yourself a nice coffee. Don't
love a good cup of Joe.
There you go, baby. But yeah, shouts out to Sergei Bobrovsky. I mean, it's an unreal career. He's kind of near the end of it. This, as I mentioned, Zach, on pregame, that's hilarious to look at. This was his moment to cement his legacy. Shit, I forgot to create a personal brand, says that coffee cup, but Sergei Bobrovsky stood tall once again. Let's talk about the Oilers. Let's find some positivity right now. The depth continued to shine through for this team. Dare I say, Game 7, Cody CeCe showed up again. He didn't get on the score sheet with a goal, but what a fucking stretch pass to send Matthias Yanmar down on the ice. Zach, we looked at each other, Coombsy, we looked at each other, and all went, oh my God, is this actually Game 7 Cody CeCe? We'll start there, because it wasn't even just that play. I thought that was Cody CeCe's best game of the playoffs.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good tonight. That play right there was my giant storyline going into the game, right? Cody CeCe magic in another Game 7. And God damn, I thought it was Evan Bouchard making that pass. I just
that was a nasty pass.
Unbelievable. And yeah, it was a great play by Cody CeCe. And a great finish by Matthias Yanmar too, right? You talked about the depth for this team finally showing up in a time they needed most. I mean, what more can you say about the way that, you know, the bottom 6 guys stepped up for the Edmonton Oilers, all playoffs long, all finals long, everything like that. Shout out Pat's dad. He should come through.
Real MVP. Real MVP.
He's the big man. He's the big man.
So obviously, Cody CeCe, just wanted to squeeze that one in because he's been the whipping boy all season long. Public enemy number 1. I thought he was fantastic tonight. But without a doubt, dude, Matthias Yanmar. So we had Fernando Pisani on Oilers Nation every day last week. All the days have just come together. It doesn't even feel like Monday. But we had him on, and we asked him about who wins the Fernando Pisani Award so far in the postseason. He said Connor Brown. Well, I can get down with that. It is tough to not say Matthias Yanmar. The more he continued to do. And biggest stage, biggest moment, gets sent in on a breakaway. That was a beautiful move from Matthias Yanmar. But he was, once again, one of the best Oilers on the ice.
He was. He came through for the Oilers at even strength, and he came through on the penalty kill as well. And there was times at this game where Zach and I looked at each other and we thought, hey, the Oilers are on the penalty kill. This could be a momentum changer for the team. Their penalty kill has been that good for the team over the course of this series. And, I mean, that's what you need if your team's going to go deep. In 2006, it wasn't just Alish Hemsky and Ryan Smith carrying them to the Stanley Cup final. It was, Mike Pekka and Sergei Samsonov and Rafi Torres, Jarrett Stoll, Brad Winchester. All those guys came up with important moments for the Oilers over the course of that run, and that's what they got in this one too. Matthias Yanmar, shorthanded goals, even strength goals from the bottom of your lineup, and if they're going to go on a deep run again next year, that's what they're going to need again. Good depth.
As I said, star players get you to the playoffs. Depth guys get you through the NHL playoffs. That was absolutely the case to this run for the Edmonton Oilers. We talk about the depth, so we got to talk about the big dogs as well tonight. We put a lot of pressure on specifically number 97, the captain, Connor McDavid, saying he needs to have a legendary performance of legendary performances. And I do feel bad. We put a lot on the man's plate, but he, I think, would say the exact same thing tonight. Not able to get on the score sheet, so it's back-to-back games. No points for McDavid after having back-to-back 4-point performances in games 4 and 5. Zach, I'll start with you about Connor McDavid. Felt like it took him a little bit to find his footing in the first period. After that, he looked like Connor McDavid yet again. And as that game went along to the third period, felt like they were out there for every shift going supernova. Thoughts on Connor McDavid's Game 7 performance?
I mean, he was the guy. He was the guy who was buzzing all night long. I do agree. It felt like he was a little bit slow to get
but then he found it.
But he found his hit. He had that excellent opportunity late in the game to deflect that shot. Couldn't quite bear down enough to get the deflection on that one. But you know what? I don't think that I don't think in a situation like this you can pin the loss on any single person or player, right? You can't sit here and say, oh, McDavid didn't do enough. Well, he was buzzing all over the ice. He had a couple of shots on goal tonight. He blocked a couple of shots as well. He was trying to do whatever he could. And sometimes these are the way that these things go with star players.
Thoughts on McDavid's Game 7 performance?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't come through with a ridiculous moment, which I think ultimately was what we all kind of hoped to see. The stage was set for Connor McDavid to, after Game 6, the Oilers came through with a nice team win, and you wonder, what's Connor McDavid going to do for the team in Game 7? And I think it's not ultimately what Connor McDavid didn't do so much as it's what the Florida Panthers did do. And it's that you lost 3 consecutive games and almost became the team to blow the worst lead ever in the Stanley Cup final. You could have become, the biggest loser in sports history. And what they did is they looked at Connor McDavid and said, we're going to shut you down and the rest of your team down. And the Florida Panthers played an excellent defensive game, top to bottom. They shut Connor down on his line, and they shut the rest of the Oilers down. Usually it's not an easy thing to do. You usually do one or the other. You shut Connor's line down or you shut the rest of the team down. Nobody else had an answer, and the Florida Panthers played excellent defense, and they deserve to win this Game 7 and the Stanley Cup.
Absolutely. Another guy, it'll be the final one I ask you to, because I had some other nation folk itching to get in on the show, and we got to spread the wealth around tonight. Leon Draisaitl, the other guy, I thought he was good tonight. He's clearly, as you mentioned, there's a rib, there's a hand, there's an everything. He's clearly laboring. But the one thing I want to give Leon credit for, man, his skating, his back checking, his defensive commitment. He was laying the body. He popped someone into the boards, got his helmet ripped off, looked like an absolute fucking warrior out there on the ice. I know he didn't deliver the points you would have won in this series and the points that would be like what he did for the first 2 to 3 rounds in these playoffs. I liked what I saw the warrior in Leon Draisaitl tonight, but Zach, will start with you. Thoughts on Leon tonight? When both of your big dogs do not get on the score sheet, and they are 2 of the best players in the world, it's going to be tough to win Game 7. But he's still injury. Thoughts, feelings?
I think at some point we'll look back at this game log of Game 7 and see that Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl didn't have a single point. And maybe at that point in time down the road, we'll sit there and say, damn, it didn't really feel like they showed up for that game. But they were there. They were there. They had their opportunity. Leon Draisaitl had that one chance on the power play in the second period. He couldn't quite get a hold up. McDavid had a chance to get that deflection in the third period. They're gamers. They're warriors. They're battlers. They're guys who are going to carry this team back to this place very, very soon. The injuries are difficult. Again, you don't want to sit here and make excuses and say, oh, well, McDavid, torn abdomen, hip muscle, whatever the case may be, Draisaitl, broken finger, broken rib. You don't want to make excuses about it. But these are severe limiting factors into what happens to the Edmonton Oilers. Look at the Florida Panthers last year, right? Aaron Ekblad, Gustav Forsling, both had shoulder
Kachuk sternum.
Kachuk had a broken sternum. And he, like Brady Kachuk last year, had to lift Matthew out of bed to be able to get him ready to try and come and play in hockey. So these are the things that happen. They amount, these injuries accumulate. And at the end of the day, the Oilers fucking put him to game 7. They forced the game 7, right? From 3-0, back from the fucking dead, the Edmonton Oilers were able to force the game 7. And I think that, above all else, is what really should be remembered about this playoff run at these finals for the Edmonton Oilers.
There's a lot to be proud of, and you said it. Speaking of gamers, warriors, and battlers, Zach, I love you. Coombsy, I absolutely love
Best
you.
wishes, dog.
It's been the greatest ride of my life.
We've
Big
had a
shout
good
out
fucking year.
to Coombsy and Zach. Come on down to Greta to party it
We've
with
had a
us.
great fucking
Our
year.
coverage of the final
Great
is brought
fucking
to you
year.
by Fountain Tire. Big shouts out to Fountain Tire as we say goodbye to our friends Zach and Coombe. Coverage of the final brought to you by Fountain Tire. Clap it up for Zach and Coombe. Fountain Tire ensures that will not. There you go. We got to do a lot of things behind the scenes right now. Pat, maybe just click Boston Pizza right after, and I'll continue to do that, Reed. But for Fountain Tire, they ensure that 100% of their vehicles owned have properly aligned wheels. Real alignments extend the life of your tire. It's incredibly clutch. Also, want to shout out our friends from Boston Pizza because damn it, it's about to be 31 years since a Canadian team has won the Stanley Cup. Maybe next year we can all team up once again to cheer on the Edmonton Oilers. Big shouts out to BPs that are part of this playoff coverage throughout it. Every step of the way, go get some Cactus Cuts, order some DoorDash, get yourself some comfort food throughout. Boys, I am now joined by Dan Gallant, also one of the longest tenured people here at Oilers Nation, and my boy, Brett Holden. Shake my hand first. Boys, it's been a hell of a fucking year. I'm proud to sit here at this table with the both of you. As I kept saying to Zach and Coombe, it's been the greatest roller coaster of my life, doing pre-gaming, doing post-game, hosting these Greta events. Daniel, you've been here. You've been through it all at Oilers Nation. How are you feeling right now? What's going on in that pretty head of yours?
You know what? I have been here for a few years. This is my 7th
He's
year.
old.
My 7th season. I'm an old man. I started when I was 30, and I'm now 40. Do the math. It works. Yeah, but you know what? Like, looking around this room, seeing the emotion on people's faces, seeing the hurt, the sadness, I get it. I understand. I was there in 2006. I've been there every step of the way with the nation in 2017. I was online with us 2020. Unbelievable. Oiler fans, we've seen it all. We've been right from the bottom of the valley to the peaks. And we were there. We were there, Brett. We tasted it tonight. But you know what? You see what it matters. You see how it matters to the city and how much it means to Oiler fans. It just didn't happen tonight. Sometimes you don't have it.
Sometimes she goes, sometimes she don't. That's the way of the road. That's also a Rickyism from Trailer Park Boys. Brett, I can see it in your eyes. The pain, and I don't want to keep looking at you because I just made eye contact with you and it made me want to cry. And damn it, I'm not crying this season because it's been an unreal ride. Lot to be happy about. Brett, walk me through what's going on in that big head of yours.
Yeah, a lot is going on. I think of my father.
Slide in a little more too.
Oh wow, it's just because I'm bigger. It thinks I'm out further.
It's the camera. It's
Pat,
the camera.
you're so good.
When the game ended, I stared at the screen for quite a while. I just could process it a little bit. What a year we've had. The long and short of it is what a year we've had. I said it from the start, 2-9-1 to 3-0. It was an unreal season. It sucks. It ended like this, but I'm not. It's that weird cliche. Don't be sad that it's over. Be happy that it's
Smile that it happened, baby.
Exactly. That's kind of what's happening to me. I just wish it ended a different way.
Well, you know what, though? Like, how could it go any different than this? Somebody has to win. Somebody has to lose. We went down 3-0 in this series. We were dead to rights. All we were doing was bargaining and begging
that they didn't win it on home ice.
Yeah.
We could just at least send them back to Florida and go celebrate there.
Yeah.
And then they go to Florida and they put up a stink. And, oh, man, did the beliefs start to itch in. It started to leak into the
Hope
systems.
will never fucking die, baby.
And then game 6, this team, it does do a great job of taking you right back. And we had it. We had that opportunity, and it just didn't happen.
I think All Just Chips is talking about the Florida fans in the chat, not us, because he's Canadian. Such little class from these clowns. People, I get it. There's going to be trolls in the chat. Pat's going to do his best to try and do what he can. It's the internet, people. It is what it is. Somebody said this is embarrassing. I have a lot to be proud of. My head will be held high all night long. I will sleep like a baby. I also have been living in Greta for the last 62 days, so I will sleep like a fucking baby tonight. Absolutely. Liam Orban's in the chat, senior producer, co-host Oilers Nation every day. And he says that hope will never die. That was the one thing, Coombsy, his big message. 4th longest tenure person here at Oilers Nation. And that was his one push. We will be back here again. This isn't the same as 2006 where you were an 18, you were a long shot, you were a Cinderella story. Brett, the likelihood of the Edmonton Oilers being back in this position, getting there next season is likely. And some loser talk here. We've finished the last 3 seasons losing to the eventual Stanley Cup champion.
Well, yeah, 100%. And now Connor's had that taste, though. Leon's had that taste. They've been there now. Connor didn't even go out for his Conn Smythe. He doesn't care. He wanted that silver thing. He didn't want that little weird trophy. He wanted the big, tall, silver cup. And now he's had that taste. Now he realizes what it takes. You all right?
I spilled that all over my shirt.
Oh, good. Hey, that's all right. He's had that taste. I think now you make the little adjustments to this team. You get Stuart Skinner, a backup goaltender, somebody who can support him throughout the season and get those, not spot starts, because I think he needs more and more support in general throughout the year than a Calvin Pickard, but you fix him those little spots there. You add here and there, and I think you just put this team a little bit that much more over top.
This team, we're talking about an organization that is going to be looking at re-upping 2 players that now are just within inches of the Stanley Cup. They were within 1 goal of the Stanley Cup. Oiler fans, we've spent years and summers being told that these guys are going to leave. They want to be here. We are creating something, and they saw it. And I think that the Oilers as a team will admit that they left something on the board tonight. Period 2, not their period. And you got to learn some lessons. And I think you said it well, Brett. It's a lesson learned for Connor. It's a lesson learned for Leon. It's a lesson learned for this whole team that 7th game, it's extra. Yeah. And you saw it from the Florida Panthers tonight. That was a different Florida Panthers team than we saw even in games 1 through 3. There was a different Florida Panthers team, a different mentality. They were looking to run it back. And you know who gets to run it back next year, perhaps? That might be the Edmonton Oilers.
Hopefully pre-gaming with Bordy. Hopefully we get to keep going as well. And that's the thing, man, about championship DVD. Florida climbed the mountaintop, fell short last season. Could be the same eventual story for the Edmonton Oilers. One thing to be positive and happy about for this playoff run, Dylan Holloway is a lock for the top 6 next season. Philip Broberg is a lock for the top 4 next season. We'll start with Broberg, Brett. He once again tonight looked fantastic. His battle level for a guy that, sure, he's tall and lanky. He doesn't look like the most strongest player out there. His battle level, his compete level is so paramount. And he loves to get in the dirty areas. His ability with the puck to pass, make plays, it's all over the place. I have loved what I've seen from Philip Broberg, and the future does look a little bright.
He's so poised, and that's the biggest thing for me. Is
and we wanted to trade him at the deadline.
Yeah, exactly.
Hand up, I considered it.
And that's the thing. We went from Philip Broberg trade rumors to him cementing himself in this
crazy
lineup.
A couple of months.
And playing very well, one of our better defensemen in game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It's his composure, it's his willingness to skate the puck up the ice, his willingness to shoot the puck, great passer as well. Again, I said this from Jump Street, really, as soon as he stepped in there. It's Oscar Clark Bomb 2.0. It's exactly Oscar Klefbom 2.0. So if you can pair him wherever you need to pair him, whatever you add, wherever we end up in late September, I think it'll be a perfect fit.
I love the composure. I love the poise.
I love the abs.
In there.
The abs too. The
I don't
abs.
know if I'm gonna go as far as the Klefbom thing. I'm still hopeful to see a little bit more offense out of him. But man, you like everything you can see out of that guy in the playoffs. You asked of it, and he gave it to you and more. So not upset at his play. Think there's just another level to come, and there's more to give and more to be there.
He's young.
Noah Raymond said it best. As a Leafs fan, great effort by the Oilers. McDavid and the Oilers will be the first Canadian team to bring the cup to Canada. Just watch. Noah Raymond, you're what makes this job fun.
Well,
you're what makes this job good.
For me, it's one thing. I don't know if you guys have spoken about it yet, but it was something that I spoke about, I think, on this very kind of show last year, is talking about the fact that now Knobloch is going to have an entire season with this team, with this group, to be able to work on some things. He had to catch some things on the fly. He had to make some changes on the fly. Came into this organization, and if I remember correctly, it's been a few months. Came in, started out, and didn't even have the opportunity to get practice in before, I think, game 6 or 7 of his tenure. So he's got some time. He's got the off season to work. We're going to make some changes. There is going to be some contracts moved around. There's a lot to be excited about. There's a lot to be positive about, and a lot to be eager about. And the question about everybody, I think I saw it in the chat there. They were asking about how is Greta and the vibe here. You know what? It hasn't been as good as it is right now after a loss.
It's been better. It's been
after
better.
a loss this entire playoff run. The mood, there was some tears to start, but we are rallying. Tears. We are puking. We are rallying.
I would also like to make it clear I haven't puked once this playoff run. Pat me on the back, sir. Pat me on the back.
No puking rallies.
Thank you very much. Pre-game with Portsy. Post-gaming with Portsy. Well, actually, the run's not over yet. So let's see what happens later tonight. Big shouts out to everybody here at Greta. There's some tears. You see some sad faces throughout the bar. But I'm not just saying this. We're trying to be optimistic. I've been optimistic all goddamn season, right? I was here doing 2-9-1. Told you reasons to be positive. We were 1 game, 1 goal away from winning the Stanley Cup. I am not going to sit here and tell you why the sky is falling. I'm happy with what we accomplished. Yes, am I absolutely gutted, absolutely crushed? I'm going to lay in my bed tonight, stare at the ceiling for 3 hours and go, what could have been, what could have happened? But right now, there's plenty of reasons to be happy. Maynard, already on the offseason talk. Any ideas on who the GM will be? We got plenty of time to crack that one open throughout the rest of the summer on Oilersnation.
I'll just remind everybody, this is a Jeff Jackson team. It's a Jeff Jackson team now. Things are changing. The tide is turning, and as much as this team has already been coming along before he came in, organization's on a different path now. And everything is looking up.
I could bring up some other topics, some stuff we talked with Zach and Kuhn, but one I want to ask you, got to get a little bit of everything as I got my rotating cast. Talked on pregame and Brett about, also, I told you it was going to be the under tonight. I gave that a personal guarantee lock. 8-0 since 2000, Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. Games go under. No, everyone is too scared to make mistakes. And I don't want to single the man out. Thought he had a fine performance. Was our best defenseman all playoffs long. I love him. I want him re-signed. Don't anybody clip this from now on. But Evan Bouchard tonight, I did think, looked a little passive, a little tentative. We looked at each other in one moment and said, is it kind of happened to Bouch where he's kind of scared to make the mistake, kind of scared to make the play? Because his game, especially your own end, is sending that stretch pass, believing in yourself. Sometimes will it be iced? Yes. Sometimes will it be turned over? Yes. As the game went along, and especially in the offensive end, Bouchard was classic Bouchard. But I did notice some nerves specifically with Bouch tonight, and I think you did too.
Yeah, and especially in the defensive end too, and around the net, and pucks behind the net as well. A lot of the times he would try to default a home there and trying to let him take the play.
Yeah, like it would go there, and he would just kind of stand and go, no, you go, you go.
Yeah, exactly. It was almost like he thought he was playing with Vinny Desharnais, and he was just going to keep going from corner to corner and just try and lay bodies. It wasn't a great look for Evan Bouchard, and it looked like, and I'm not speculating or anything. This is the way he looked like he played. He played like he was hurt. And again, I'm not saying he was hurt. I'm saying he was scared to. Love you, Zach.
Bye, Zach. Everybody say bye, Zach.
Bye, Zach. Good season, Zach.
See you, buddy.
Keep going.
I'm not saying he was hurt. I'm saying he was playing. He looked like he was scared to go into corners. Looked like he was scared to get into areas where he may get roughed up and what he did. And he was scared to get into areas where he could make a mistake. He was scared to. It seemed like he was ready to kind of get laid into it.
I don't want to pick on him, right? Evan Bouchard was the best defenseman these playoffs. Nobody have that message. But that was a worry of mine coming into tonight, is that people would be nervous. They're human. That's human emotion. I completely get it. But maybe that something will come with time. Did you see any of what we're talking about?
I just felt like we asked a lot of Evan Bouchard tonight. And,
oh, yeah, we do every night.
And there was perhaps maybe there was a little too much put on him, especially on those power plays. Really felt like they were leaning on trying to get it up to him and to the point. And tonight just felt like his shots, he was just trying to fine-tune them a little too much. In the past, I've even sitting here at Greta, I felt like he's kind of honing in on the net as the game goes on. Tonight, it just felt like he was trying to get those posts too tight.
I just want to give a special thank you to every one of the trolls in the chat right now, because you have to subscribe to the ON YouTube to talk in the chat. I love you. I'll tolerate that as long as you're not being offensive to everybody else. Come on in. Hey, if you want to gloat, you can gloat. It's part of the game. It's part of sports. It's part of the internet. Everybody, if you're a little upset right now, come on. Man up. Toughen up. It's the internet. They're just words.
They should be thankful to us. We gave them something to watch.
Yeah, we're giving you great content.
Exactly.
Giving you great content.
Your team, out of here. There's no way that there's any Florida Panthers fans that are trolling the chat. They're too busy celebrating. It's the rest of you guys. And you're welcome. I'm so glad we're able to give you content.
I love it. Davin's in. He said, I have a list of Oilers who didn't live up to the moment. I'm not going to name names. Name some names, man. Let's go. What are we doing here? Last Oilersnation After Dark of the season. This is what I want to talk about. Curtis Maw. We let the Turtle win a cup. Skinner sucked. Stuart Skinner made 19 of 21 saves for a .905 save percentage. Brett, does that start with a 9?
Yes,
if it starts with a 9, I think that's good. Goaltending. Stuart Skinner, not the issue tonight. You allow 2 goals against in a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. That should be enough to win with this Edmonton Oilers offense. Once again, the guy on the other side of the ice kind of outdoing him.
Well, if you're sitting there and blaming that first goal on Stuart Skinner, touch some grass, read a book, get educated. I don't know. I don't know what you want to hear. It's the
unload the clip, Brett. Last game.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of the stupidest things you could ever say. Sit there and go, Stuart Skinner probably could have stopped the deflection. No, and the second goal was it?
Verhaeghe in front had no Oilers around him when he made that tip.
Exactly. So. That is absolutely, and it's going off net. It's not even. It's going into the corner. Shut up. The second goal, though, I will say, not great positioning from Skinner. But again, you mentioned it. Or no, it was Kulak who was on there. Sorry, buddy. It wasn't. He needed to take that shot. He tried to take away the passing lane when that passing lane was already occupied. I don't know who it was with, but he had already occupied that passing lane. He needs to take that shooter, get onto his stick, and it probably ends up in the corner in a battle. So, no, I don't think that Stuart Skinner played bad at all. He did everything he needed to do. A couple things went by him, and you got to give him some support.
Thoughts on Stu, and then we're going to get into the Greta scoring summary.
Crazy enough, one team, when they win the hockey game, scores more goals than the other team. I don't.
Whoa!
I don't know. I know. I'm breaking the ground. It's been 7 years of this, folks. I've been trying to explain this to you. No, it's really frustrating to hear, and I understand it because the goalie is the last line of defense. But did Stuart Skinner take his foot off the gas pedal for the entire second period?
No.
Did Stuart Skinner show no ability to establish the zone when the net was empty?
No.
It boggles the mind to just kind of, I guess it's just the easy answer is to go after the goaltender when you lose the hockey game. Yeah, because he let in the winning goal. Yeah. That's the way that hockey games work.
You're looking for something to blame. That's all it is.
Michael Bellick says it right here, 0 offense. You scored 1 goal in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. You don't deserve to win. End of discussion. Right there. Let's move now to the Greta scoring summary. Brought to you by Greta Bar Yeg. You know him, you love him. The most lit spot to watch the Edmonton Oilers lose Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. It was lit in here, boys.
It was unreal.
Till the end. Till the final whistle. I stood on bar chair after bar chair, and I'm not going to lie to you. Shout out to Lance Kane because I used his bar chair for it. The last one, I almost fell and broke my neck. I didn't have anyone holding the chair, and it did the old fucking thing where I had the mic in my hand and the T-shirt in front of hundreds of people. I could have fallen, but I didn't. We got that crowd hype. We unloaded the clip I said of all the merch. Brett, you've been here every step of the way at Greta. Tonight, win, lose, or draw, it was lit in here.
This was something else tonight. It was whether you're down 2-1 in the third period or tied up 1-1. It was electric in here from the start of the game to the end of the game. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before. I was saying to a couple people outside after the game, this is what it's about. This is the community. And it's not about the players in orange and blue. It's the people who bleed orange and blue. And you saw everybody in here tonight in bleed orange and blue.
Oh, that got me so fired up, Brad. He's still in his bag. Daniel, you've been around for a lot of events. Nation Dan, the event guy, did all the Nation vacations, a lot of this stuff. Greta lately in this season is on another level. Edmonton fans are showing up and showing out.
I tell you what, Aaron, I've hosted parties at the Pint. I've hosted parties at
No, Voldemort.
Arcade.
We don't say their name. We don't say their name.
I'm sorry. I've hosted parties all around this city for the Nation, and tonight was different. Tonight, the room, I don't think they added more capacity as the game went on, but the room just kind of kept growing and it kept building and man, we were just right there. But it's just so cool to be included, to be a part of something special, and to look around a room. And there's 400, 500 stories in this room. The three of us have the honor of sitting on this panel, and we get to tell our story. But there's 400 different stories about why those people were the Edmonton Oilers fan that they are and why they're here with us right now. And I just love to have those opportunities to be able to talk to those people and take in that moment and soak it all in with all the Oilers fans around me.
Without a doubt, the best part of this job, I mean, it's not the day-to-day as we just got to talk Oilers all the time, and I mean this. It is meeting each and every one of you, walking around Edmonton, random places, and getting a little boardsy. Tap me up a little bit of everything. As I said, I lead the league in daps. Lead the league in daps around Greta Barriega. Pretty sure every single person that walks by, but you, the Nation citizens, if I've met you this season, you know it. It's been awesome. You've been a part of the ride. All right. You want to do the quickest Greta scoring summary we've ever done in our lives?
Yeah.
So I don't have to rewatch this because I know, just like last night, I watched the Game 7 highlights from 06 last night. Maybe 18 years from now, I can finally man up and be able to watch these ones. Let's start.
I'll watch it and I'll recap it so you don't have to, Aaron. All right, we got goal number 1. It was scored just after the penalty had expired.
It's Carter Verhaeghe with an absolute nasty tip, and it doesn't count as a power play goal. It was seconds afterwards. But look, wide open, alone in front of the nets. What do you want Stuart Skinner to do right there? Brett, I'm going to second it. If you're at Stuart Skinner right now, you're kind of sounding dumb because he was in this every step of the way. This was a tough way to start the game. You knew you were going to be in Florida. You knew they'd have that first wave, but you didn't think Warren Fogle would go and cross-check someone in the face.
Yeah.
Minutes into the game, as I said, not a power play goal, but it basically was.
Yeah, and it killed the possible momentum, too. It was a little bit back and forth. It killed any possible momentum that you could have had because that first call goes against you. Crowd's into it. Even if you kill that penalty, which you do, but then you keep moving on, it's a momentum-building penalty.
We've seen it all playoffs from this BK unit.
Exactly. So is it nice that they statistically got the kill? That's fine. But you just...
Curtis Maw is in, and he says the first goal was McLeod's fault. Bum couldn't clear it out. McLeod to the AHL.
No.
Settle down, people. Have we ever looked at? Come on, man. Come on. We're saying crazy shit right now. Let's try and pull it back in. Daniel, that play, though, pretty brutal start to get.
It's just you can't take that penalty, and I understand for Fogle, he gets caught up in the emotion of the moment, and he
drilled
just
him
kind of
right
wants
in
to
the
pop
face.
him in the mouth. I think everybody here at Greta was all throwing our hands up in the air until we saw that replay. And then,
Put them in my pockets, Dan.
Not
Put 'em right in my
a
pockets.
great look. Not a great look for us to start off. But you know what? The Oilers should have killed that one off, and that's the end of the play, and that's why you've got to get that final possession. It ends up in the back of your net because the Florida Panthers get it. It's pucks on net, and it's pucks on net that are coming from different angles. Yeah. And you saw it for the rest of the game. They're shooting pucks just to the wide side of the net so they can get that deflection in.
Yeah.
Because they knew they weren't beating Stuart Skinner straight on. And man, oh man, is it frustrating as an Oilers fan knowing you got the offense that you've got and you don't see our offense go and do the same thing.
Yeah. Absolutely. A couple minutes later, it's the greatest. It's Mr. Game 7. It's Matthias Yanmar from Cody. CeCe, as you see it here on your screen. What a pass. Springs him in alone on the breakaway. Goes forehand. What a celly from the janitor. Oh my God. We were losing our minds in this bar as he drops down to one knee. Does the celebration of all cellies. That pass from Cody CeCe, that's 3 feet in the air. All the way down, hits the ice, tape to absolute tape. This is one of my favorite parts, watching Connor and Leon and the boys on the bench. Watching that third line do third line stuff yet again. Brett, if I had told you the first goal of the game would be a Yanmar breakaway assisted by Cody CeCe, what would you have said?
The first part, I honestly probably
would have believed. You probably would have believed.
Shorthanded? I probably would have thought it was shorthanded special teams goal. Not from Cody CeCe. I would have thought Cody CeCe scored game 7 CeCe.
No kidding, eh?
Yeah, no, I almost put a couple on Betway there for that. But that's the issue, though. It's the positive and the negative as well. It's just Matthias Yanmar scoring that goal. That's it. It's Matthias Yanmar from Cody CeCe, not the Stars. It's not McDavid. It's not Draisaitl. It's not Hyman. It's not Nuge. It's not Charge. Is it great? Yes. Do those, weirdly enough, depth players need support? Also, yes. So good to see. Love to see it from Yanmar. Gave Payton a great old hug for his man scoring, but wasn't enough.
I want to say that Yanmar tied. He has 4 goals in game 7s now. Tied for the active lead in the NHL with the Worm, Corey Berry. He almost had a breakaway as well.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so close. Attitudes are still very good. We then move along to the final goal of the game from the Florida Panthers. The game winner, the everything, the final nail in the coffin. Is it Sam Reinhart's 10th of these playoffs, assisted by Carter Verhaeghe and Dmitry Kulikov. Beat Stuart Skinner, I think, short side.
Yeah. As
we watch that, yep, absolutely kind of over the glove. That's painful to watch. I also was kind of shit-talking Reinhardt on the pregame show, hand up. Is that on me? Might be on me. I don't know. But the most painful part of this play is on the other side of the ice, seconds before. It was sit right there next to Bobrovsky after a shot from distance, scramble out front. No one is able to put it home. Goes back down the ice. Sam Reinhart, who scored 50-plus goals this season. That's a goal scorer's goal. It was such a quick turn of events, and what do you know? That's all she wrote.
Yeah, and that's exactly how it works. That's the beauty of hockey. You get the chance on one end, and what happens on the other? It's the game-winning Game 7 goal. It's exactly how it works. And I mentioned this earlier. I said it with the goal already. I think Kulak needed to take the shot. I don't blame Skinner on it at all. It's the unfortunate length of events. I just don't know what else to say about it. I think I can't say anything else about it because there's nothing that comes after this. What adjustments do you make? You don't make adjustments anymore because now you're just making adjustments on your golf swing. For everybody. I'm not saying for Evan Rodriguez is going to hit the lane.
Everyone's golfing now. Everyone's golfing. We're golfing now.
Yeah, exactly. I get my golf.
My chirp TC123. See you in the finals in another 33 years, Oilers. It was 18 years. If you're going to chirp, at least turn your fucking brain on before you're going to do that, okay? We'll continue to roll with that. Anyway. Daniel, tough one on that Reinhardt goal because it was right there on the ice in front of Bobrovsky. And quick strike offense. Give the Panthers credit. That man scored 50-plus goals this year. That's a goal scorer's goal.
Yeah, it's indicative of a period that the Oilers just got outplayed, pure, plain, and simple. And I didn't think that was the nail in the coffin at the time. I don't think anybody looking at this offense on the other side of this ledger thought that was the end. A bit of a dagger to have that be the game-winning, Stanley Cup-winning goal. Extra salt in the wounds, but it's the way it goes. The momentum swings. That you've seen it in this series. You know, it swung for 1s through 3, back through 4 to 6, and it just didn't happen for us on the other end of it.
And that'll do it for the final Greta scoring summary of the 2023-2024 NHL season. Also, the Cube Monkey, Leon, was awful these playoffs. Pretty sure he has 34 points in 31 games and is playing through broken ribs and a broken hand. Come on, people. Let's bring it in right now. We're not tearing down our Leon Draisaitl. Let's move now to the good, bad, and the oily, brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross, because there's only one thing better than sharing memories, and it's making new ones. ABC Travel Insurance protects your memories and more wherever travel takes you. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel for more information. Pat, it says it drops Instagram. I still think it keeps Instagram rolling. The people, come on down to YouTube and get in that chat. We got a little bit left in Oilers Nation After Dark, and for the entire season, let's throw down the good right now. Let's start with the good. It's 15 wins, boys. It's an incredible year. You got almost all the way to the peak of the mountaintop. There's plenty to be proud of, as I mentioned. 2-9-1. I said it on the mic in this bar when things in the third period were kind of dipping. Stood up and I said, if I would have told you back in November when you were 2-9-1 that you didn't blow your vocal cords right now trying to will this team to come back, make them hear you from South Florida, then what are we even doing here? Plenty to be proud of. 15 wins. While it doesn't matter because you're one short, it is plenty to be proud of. I'm hanging my head high tonight, Brett. The good is 15 wins.
Yeah, I'm in a bitter mood. As soon as I saw that it was 15 wins, that hurt. That really hurt. That right there was the most painful thing tonight. It's one away.
From 31st in the league to 1 goal away in Game 7 is something, though.
Yes, no.
Turn that frown upside down.
I said this. I've already said this since my appearance. It's so that right there, putting it that way, 15 wins, just makes it feel not like a failure, but you just know you were one away.
It is a failure. You did not reach your goal, so by definition, yes, it is. But plenty to be proud of, Daniel.
Hey, I've been on this earth for 37 years.
And you look great.
They've been playing hockey for more than 38 of those years. And math, it checks out. But
I'll take your word for it.
Every single season, a bunch of teams lose and one team gets to win. Would I like it to always be the Edmonton Oilers? Absolutely. I prayed on my couch in 1997. I was standing in a bar in Halifax, devastated in 2006, and I'm here at Greta tonight, and I also feel that pain. But that is what it is to be a sports fan. Yeah. It is just it is a climb. It is a slog. Some teams, they get all the luck. Some teams, they get all the great things. This team has had 2 generational talents on it, and we still have one of those generational talents on it right now. Just because you lose the Stanley Cup doesn't mean you didn't win and have success that season. It hurts right now. It hurts like a mother right now. But this too will pass. Next season, we will start anew. We are going to be right here in this desk. Hope will never die. We're planning to run it back next season. So, I don't know. Yeah, it sucks right now. But we're coming back.
We're coming back.
Season starts next year. We're not Arizona. We still have a hockey team.
We still have a hockey team. We'll still be at Rogers Place next season. There still will be a banner.
We're not Utah. We have a team name still.
Yeah.
Also, Mitch Marner going to Utah?
I saw some cold water being
I don't know. It's rumors. It's rumor season. And if Nick Alberga says it, I don't believe it.
I'm also happy you brought it up because right before we started, I brought it up and I looked like the idiot when Elliot Friedman or whoever it was threw cold water on it. So I'm happy you on air was like, oh Marner.
Hey, happens, it happens. We're the rumor boys. We're the rumor mill.
Yeah.
With the good comes the bad. I forget what it is, so I need to see it come on my screen. It's obviously Game 7 heartbreak. I don't really even need to get into much detail about this. Fucking sucks. Feel like somebody stabbed me in the chest, in the heart. I'm being positive right now. I will have a moment tonight where I go home and scream into my pillow probably and just get very mad, very emotional. It's bad. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This is, would you rather lose in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, or would you rather have been swept? Shot out of a cannon, go.
Game 7.
I agree too.
I mean, it's the hope that kills you. It's the Ricky Gervais quote. They gave us that hope. If we had all been eliminated after Game 6 or Game 5, Game 4, we had no opportunity to win those games.
Yeah.
So, to not just be able to live for tomorrow. And so it is what it is. You're definitely not. Nobody's taking a sweep. No one in their right mind is taking that sweep. It's just not happening.
Somebody in the chat let me know. Did McDavid not accept the Conn Smythe?
That's what I
Well,
said.
it's not that he didn't accept it. It's just that he
didn't
didn't come
touch it.
out.
He didn't
He didn't come out to take it because the Florida Panthers are busy celebrating on the ice.
And
J.S. Shigeru
I was going
didn't
to say,
come out either.
the photos, I'm pretty sure he has one. He's just bawling his fucking eyes out.
Yeah.
You know, like, I understand it. I get it. Lay off the Connor. Lay off the Connor. What?
That the Conn Smythe winner never took it.
The chat will let us know.
Yeah.
Chat will let us know.
I'm
they're
fairly
smart
certain J.S. Shigeru did not come out.
No, he did. He did.
I thought he did because I remember a photo of
Oh,
him
you're
crying.
absolutely right. He did.
Either way, not important.
Whatever.
That was 20 years ago. That
Does
is that.
anybody want to come live on the show and tell us about all their feelings right now? Like, I don't know. Like, Connor played the Stanley Cup Final, Game 7, played his ass off, and he didn't want to come up.
He's
and
going to have
accept
to do the
trophy.
media. He's
Has
going to have to do
nothing
all that.
with class or anything.
And once
He
again,
wanted to let them have their moment.
absolutely. Let's move from the good to the bad to the oily. The oily is Connor Smythe, just like that.
Ugh.
One thing to be proud about, pretty fucking sick playoff run for one Connor McDavid. It was legendary status, dude.
That's what we saw. That's what we saw throughout all of these people who don't really watch hockey. They're just here because this city's coming together. All the people who have the 197 jersey that they're sure that they have in their little cupboard that they totally forgot they had. He was the reason, one of the reasons why this city came together. And him winning the Conn Smythe is just the absolute epitome of what we saw in these last 62 days. Did you say we've been here for the last whatever? That it's the perfect send-off for Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers this season, even if they don't win it without it.
I know it's a lot of bad tonight. There's got to find some good. I know the chat is very invested in my love life. Good news. Just got a DM from someone that said, well, on a less depressing note, now the playoffs are over, when are we going on a date? It's not all bad, baby. Bordsy stays winning. Continue to keep it going. What is that?
Is that somebody's number?
Wow.
I fucking love this city. You find a way to make me love each and every one of you, Pat. Stud move right there. Stud move. That is a number, boys. We're living. We're going. See, it's not all bad. Let's move now. Let's just pull through it. There's a Let's Go Oilers chant going right now. Let's go Oilers. Let's go Oilers. I love you all. Let's go now to the hot and cold performers. I'll let Dan start. Give me your hot performer tonight, this season, this playoffs, whatever you want. Go nuts.
Plain and simple. Oh, no, I can't do it. You let me lead off the harp. It's Matthias Yanmar.
Damn it.
Matthias Yanmar having
You didn't get to go first.
taking this team. He took this team and it's weird to say it out loud, but Matthias Yanmar put them on his back a little bit these last few games and really inspired the team. And again, feels like that moment that we just kind of missed because this team has been clamoring for what? Depth. And then Matthias Yanmar comes out and gives you some depth scoring every single game to close out a Stanley Cup final. Yeah, unbelievable.
And I want to say with Matthias Yanmar as well, that was the Fernando Pisani.
He
was the Fernando Pisani this year. So,
He was.
Okay, I guess I won't go Matthias Yanmar.
Do whatever you want. The whole season, I said. You can pick the Greta staff.
Yeah, true. Shout out Annie.
Shout out Annie. Shout out Olivia. Shout out
Sasha.
Tanner, Sasha, Will. I'm missing so many names. Phil, Callum, everyone that works
Tony.
together. You're my hot performers as well. And nation citizens as a whole for me.
Yes.
Till the end
I'm
tonight.
going to say this crowd then. This crowd was unbelievable. Everybody who came here and celebrated our Greta tonight, it was unbelievable. It made this feel like a community. It made you realize what we do this for and what everybody comes out for. It's about the orange and blue.
It always makes me realize, Brett, that we sit at the studio and I'm just yelling at a camera, making dumb jokes, that there is thousands of people on the other side of that camera that hopefully are laughing at said jokes, or at least having a good time making fun of me and the journey we've been through as general. I'm going to Greta staff. They're my hot performers and the nation citizens as a whole. Cold performer, you go first.
Oh, yeah, thanks, buddy. You fucking tossed me under the cold.
I let him go first, so I let you go first.
Shut up.
We're going to find a way to complain about anything, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm going to go Leon Draisaitl with the series. Wish we saw more. Not going to throw him completely under the bus because without him we wouldn't be here. But if I have to pick someday, I'm going Leon Draisaitl for the Stanley Cup appearance. First Stanley Cup appearance.
And I don't like to be negative. I really don't, especially in a moment like this, because I think it's really easy to be negative. But
I'll do that on my own time, damn it.
the job is mine, and I have to come up with somebody to be negative about. And I can't riff forever before I actually come up with an answer. I'm gonna say, and again, it's I'm gonna do just tonight, only tonight, and I'm still riffing. No, is Evan Bouchard. I really feel like he had a lot put on his back tonight. I think the team really leaned on him and needed more out of him. Didn't get it. It is what it is. Young man, still a lot of life left to give in those legs. So Evan Bouchard, my cold.
For me, I'm just going to say the ice once again in Florida. Holy shit, man. Get that figured out. I get it. It's June. It's the end of June. It's about to be July. It's Florida. Probably, 110 degrees Fahrenheit? Probably something like that down there. You got to find a way to make it be better. Pucks flying all over the ice, hopping over sticks. How many times do we see Connor McDavid blow a tire tonight? At least 2 to 3 moments in the offensive end with the puck on his stick, game on the line, best skater in the league. He ain't just slipping out from under him. That was the ice, and I think a lot of people noticed that throughout the series. Once again, I don't know if there's actually anything you can do about that besides cooling the sun.
Yeah.
The fucking sun. I don't know what you can do about that, so I'm going to give that as a cold performer. Also,
have they considered blocking it out?
Matthew Tkachuk, nice, like the Simpsons, like Mr. Burns. Excellent. Mr. Burns, shout out you. Also, Matthew Tkachuk, he was diving. He did it again tonight. I saw him have one, just absolutely brutal. Don't want to spend much time on it. But he had to get one in there. I get it. Got to piss off the Edmonton fan base. And well played, Matthew. This round goes to you. Fair?
Florida Panthers, the whole series, were the veteran team in the sense that they've been there, and I understand it. Paul Maurice runs that team, and that's just kind of the way that you do it because you get those calls in those big moments.
Yeah.
They were up, 2 power plays to 1 for the Oilers tonight. Yeah. There's something to be said for that. There's something to be said that in a Stanley Cup final, you lead the Oilers at power play strong. Yeah. Not great. Not great.
All right, boys. The more we move along in the show, this is the point in time where I go to the Betway look ahead.
Oh.
Well, let's at least get it in because with Betway, you can get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Waz, change for Waz. They can hear me. Create a new account, scan the QR code on the screen that will pop up eventually. Redeem your bonus. You place a bet. No minimum amount is required. And if the bet loses, you will get a refund up to $200. You can then use that money on your favorite sports. This offer is only available outside of Ontario. My boy, he's been along for the ride the entire season. He's been an integral part. There's the QR code on your screen. I'll just move over a little bit. Dan, move over a little bit. Matthew Wozniak, I'm going to bring you on. We're not going to go too long here, but I couldn't end this show without bringing on my boy Woz. You've been in the trenches with me. You've been in the shit all season long in the comment sections on Instagram, Twitter, whatever you want. You've been here out at Greta. You've been in the moss pits. I know it's a dark time right now, but are there reasons to be happy and hang your head right now? Or
I mean-
hold your head high. Not hang your head. Fuck.
I mean, I 100%. This team, they showed so much resiliency and fight back all season. We've talked about it so many times of where they were. There were so many times where even us maybe even doubted them a little bit too much. And like, they can't go this deep into the cup final, and they proved us all wrong. And there's no reason why they can prove us wrong next season, right? And it's kind of like the Panthers. They went to the cup final last year. They lost, 5 games?
Yep.
We went to 7. When we were down 0-3, everyone's like, well, they're probably getting swept, or Florida's going to wait to win it at home in 5. And that didn't happen. We went all the way to 7, and we can only be proud of how they fought that.
I'm proud of every bit was, and I wanted to bring you on to tell you how proud of you I am, dude. You've been, and I mean this, you are an integral part to Oilers Nation. You are the king of our socials. You work so goddamn hard. And while the rest of I get it, people want to chirp, he picked Dallas and sticks, blah, blah, blah. What I've said all playoffs long, that's how good at content was it, that he picks Dallas, and everybody would shut the fuck up about it for about 3 straight weeks.
Everything
In
is
turn,
wrestling, baby.
creating more views,
Yeah.
more likes, more content was. You are one in a million. You are one of a kind. I have loved working with you. You have make it fun to come into work every day. You love to have a good chirp battle. You never take things too serious. Seriously, can't say enough. Thanks for being a part of this ride this year, dude.
No, I appreciate you guys. This is awesome. I appreciate being a pre-gaming after dark. Hearing people grapple on TikTok and socials. I know I'm a little annoying here and there, but we're all in this together. As cliche as that sounds, as cringe as that sounds.
Wallace is an absolute
Thank
beauty.
you, Kyle. Thank you. And the best part is that we get to do all this again next year. The ride was to stop, baby. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to reset, but that's the best part, and I wouldn't want to do it with anyone else.
We ain't, well, we are dead now, but hope will never die. We will be back next season, boys. It's been a hell of a ride. I do want to say to everyone in the nation, citizens out there, said this after pre-gaming, this has been the greatest year of my life. This is me talking to you at home, and it's only been possible because of you guys. I want to give a big thank you to Jay Bagmilk, Tyler, New and team for allowing me and believing in me to do pre-gaming, to do Oilers Nation After Dark. I had never hosted a live show before in my life. Oh, we're kicking it over because that's what happens during live shows, baby. You got to roll with the punches. But big shouts out to every one of you. You've made going into work every day so much fun, as I just mentioned. Sometimes it feels like it's just us in the room, but there is thousands of people behind there watching our content. And I say it all the time, I would not have a job without each and every one of you out there watching the videos, liking the videos, subscribing, engaging on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you want. We could not do it without you. I love you so much. I will still be on Oilers Nation every day, producing behind the scenes. I always have my mic. But I'm going to take some time off this summer. Edmonton Riverhawks, a lot of people have asked me if I'll be back, going back. I don't think so. I think I need to enjoy my 2 months off here. Not even 2 months off. Still doing ONE content, but I got to sit back and enjoy this because this has been, as I said, the greatest roller coaster of my life. It's been the greatest year of my life. Each and every one of you made that possible. Boys, any final words?
Oh, I don't know what else to say, really. It's a shitty feeling.
It feels emotional. I feel sappy right now
but
saying goodbye.
It had to end eventually. It's not the way we wanted to end. But, thankfully there's a season coming up. There's a season after that. I know this is not what everyone wants to hear, but there's no reason why we can't do it next year.
I'm going to take the opportunity to thank you, Aaron, for the chat. I know the chat is going to agree with me here. It is not an easy job to come on to this show every single night and have to bring the energy, bring the excitement, and be on the dial every single night. I know it's not easy. I know it's a thankless job sometimes, and you do it well, and you do it fucking phenomenally. Pat, you're behind the scenes too. Exact same message to you, my friend. As a guy that's been here for 7 years, I've watched a lot of people try and do this job at a smaller version of what you guys do on a nightly basis. It's fucking phenomenal to watch. I know that this is not the ending that we wanted to see.
Yes.
I know that this is not how we thought we were going to be talking about on this show and doing this show. But what we did ask is that the Edmonton Oilers did not go quietly into the night. And we didn't do that either.
No.
And that's all that we got out of this entire journey. I'm happy. And I'm satisfied because next year we're running it back. We're going to be right back here, and we're not going to be sad. We're going to be happy.
Kyle
Great
Buxton,
job.
I love you. Thank you for those kind
Of
words.
course.
I do appreciate it because you know
Hey,
what it's like to do this job. And I want to make it clear, you guys laid the groundwork. You did all the tough work. I have the greatest job in the world. But right now, it's Bordsy signing off for the final time of the 2023-2024 Edmonton Oilers season. The championship DVD will not be as lit as I thought it was, but the Oilers Nation year in review was fucking phenomenal. I love you all. We came back from the dead. It's been the best year of my life. Kisses to each and every one of you. Come on down to Greta and grab some beers.
you know what, Aaron? Let's play La Bamba one
School's
more
out.
time.
School's out, boys. School's out.
One more time.
See you, everybody. Good night.